Where are you?
03 on 3.
Okay, when you're ready, you clear the travel park lights and further clearance promotion.
No, you gotta make a decision.
03, clear the travel park on 3, and back to Motion Hill. Okay, if I could just have your attention for a minute, please. I'd ask you to remain seated while the car's moving. And if you're sitting on the outside, please do not want arms, legs, heads, anything else outside the car. We just go close to some of the overhead wire support poles. Thank you.
303, hold on a second.
Stay here.
We'll sit for a beautiful ride, I hope.
Yeah. This will be
Good
like
to go.
the other one was hot, right? Get hot in that car.
I'll try to get, these cars were known as breezers.
Oh, were they?
Yes. And you'll find out why.
Okay, everybody ready?
Going to
compressor has stopped pumping. That's air for our brakes, so pretty cool. Use too much air, Gail. It's your fault. Okay.
Always picking.
I know many of you have ridden before today, so I'm not going to tell the same tale. I want to tell you a little story. And it involves this type of car back in the 1930s. Now, this story I'm going to tell you, we know it's got some truth. I'm sure it's got enhanced and embellished over the years, but we know it's based on truth. Back in the 1930s, there was a particular conductor. He'd been working on a route for 40 years doing the same route, same shift, and he was coming up to retirement. Now, what he'd been doing is he was on his shift, he was operating this type of car, which had the seats across. And to collect the fares, what he would do while the car was moving, he'd walk down the outside, and maybe there were 5 people across here, he'd pick up 5 fares. Now, you may think that these down the side are straps for passengers to hold on to. I'm sure passengers did hold on to them, but in fact their main purpose was they would have been in this up position, and for every fare the conductor collected, he would pull this once. It was linked by a series of levers up there to where you can just see a few holes below the light bulb. There was a clock face there. It was a digital counting unit, which actually was called a fare counter. And the idea was that that number would match the amount of money the conductor had collected at the end of his shift. It was a quick check for the company. Now, this particular conductor we're talking about here, what he'd done for 40 years was, maybe if there were 5 people across here, he'd pick up the 5 fares, he'd pull this 4 times, and he'd pocket 1 fare. Now, he realised that if he just suddenly retired, the company would see a significant increase when the next person took over in the amount of money they were collecting. So he had enough sense over the previous 4 to 6 months before he retired to reduce the amount that he was actually pocketing for himself. Now, all this, when he was retired, happened in the 1930s. 1930s, trolley companies were having a very hard time, and many were going out of business because the automobile was taking over. People didn't want to ride the trolley cars anymore. So the trolley company that our conductor worked for, offered a monetary prize to the conductors, with the first prize going to the conductor who could increase ridership the most. Guess who got the prize?
Oh my God.
Crime doesn't pay. Right, we're going to make one stop. We're going to actually make 2 stops going down the hill. We've got round trip clearance. Can you stop at Gregoire's?
Yes.
Please. I have to be good, you see, otherwise you should say no. 600 pounds. Yeah, so don't hold on to the wire and put on the rail, otherwise your eyes still. Yeah, DC, you won't let go of the wire very quickly. That's it.
Let's go down.
Want the yellow bar?
No, yeah.
called street railway bolts, and they're still made. They used to be a special shape with long filaments, but you can't get those anymore.
Huh? Oh, it's in this seat. Can I sit?
But just make a brief stop here. If you look in front of the car, you see a straight track. You're riding over what was the Atlantic shoreline 100 years ago. This was a trolley line, or a section of the trolley line that ran between Townhouse Square in Kennebunkport and Bideford, the next town just north of here. Ceased operations in 1927. The company then took away all the track, all the overhead wire, basically just left the right-of-way. So when the museum came in here, and the museum obtained its first car in 1939, everything you see here today, track, overhead wire, buildings, structures, basically everything, has been put back by the museum, mostly by voluntary labour. Now, we stopped at this particular point we call Gregoire's Crossing. Back in Atlantic shoreline days, when the trolley used to run through here, Mr. John Gregoire lived in the farmhouse, which is just at the back here. In fact, the 7th generation of Gregoire still live there today. He operated, believe it or not, a dairy farm here. This was 4 dairy farms down the hill. You wouldn't believe it today when you see all the undergrowth.
No.
To supplement his income on the dairy farm, he took a second job in the mills at Succo, which is just north of Bideford here. What he found it was very convenient just to walk out of his house, down this pathway, flag down a trolley, and go to work. He'd go to Bideford, change on to another trolley car and end up at Succo. And he'd do the same in reverse in the evening. Now, he used to go to work at about 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning. In summer, maybe even in the spring and fall, he could just walk out here at that time. It'd be relatively light. He'd just put up his hand, and trolley crews would see him and stop. But in the middle of winter, it'd be pitch black out here. There's no street lights. Flashlights weren't invented by then. He didn't want to carry a big oil lantern all day, so he had no obvious means of stopping the car. How do you think he attracted the attention of the trolley crews to stop him?
I want to go in the street, Mama.
And don't come up with the answer the lady came up with last week and said he laid a cow across the track.
You didn't lay a lantern or something like that.
Well, if you know the noise these things make, you probably, if you're inside the car, you probably wouldn't hear a whistle. What they used to do, and it was standard procedure about 100 years ago in rural areas, they used to roll up a piece of newspaper and set fire to the end and wave it. Obviously they used to do a good job of putting it out because there aren't many reports of fires starting because of, you know, newspapers burning something. Everybody ready? Well, that's quiet. Everybody ready? Ready! That's it.
Well, I figured he put a lantern on his post, so maybe we had fun.
doing a little bit of advertising again. Last 2 weeks in, well, getting tongue-tied here, it's your fault again. Last 2 weekends in September, we run our pumpkin patch weekends. And each one of those 4 days, in the morning if you came out here, you'd find a field pretty much with several hundred pumpkins all spread out. And an entry fee into the museum, we bring you out here on the trolley car, drop you off at this platform, and everyone up to the age of about 3,500 can go and pick a pumpkin. One rule, smaller the person, bigger the pumpkin, and subject to weather. Painting the pumpkin, carving the pumpkin, face painting. Incidentally, last year more adults had their face painted than children. Embarrassed the children no end, but that's what happened. Also, there may be some other things going on here, as I say, subject to weather. When you're satisfied with your pumpkins, you bring it up to the platform and you check it in with a baggage handler. You get a baggage check. You can go off and enjoy the rest of the day, riding around as much as you want, looking around the barns, doing whatever you want. When you're ready to go home, you find that all the pumpkins have been moved from here down to the side of the visitor centre, probably on one of our US mail trolley cars, which rarely comes out. It's a good sight to see that moving all the pumpkins down. You can hand in your baggage check, pick out your pumpkin, and then when you put it into the back of your car, you find that all the paint is dried that the children may have put on it, and you don't have to get paint all over your car and all over your hands. So you might want to keep that in mind. It's great fun.
I think there's also a pumpkin pie contest this year. So for any of you bakers, there's a contest.
Oh, can I be the tester?
Absolutely.
Anyone would like to walk around our site, you can exit the car here. I'll briefly explain what's there. The restoration shop is up just halfway behind me. Keep in mind you've got to go up some steps onto the internal viewing balcony. Riverside Barn right by the side of the tracks. The other side here. Main exhibit Barn Highwood. Halfway make a right, it's about 80 yards down just past the trees. There's a double-deck car from Glasgow, Scotland there where you can go upstairs and walk around on the upper deck of the double-deck car. Or you can stay on the car and come back with us to the visitor centre where you boarded. So, does anyone want to get off at this point? No.
I'm doing this like you do. Look at Mama. See?
Have you seen the trolley cars in the barns already?
Yeah, it's really neat.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're ready to go. Huh? Get some lunch.
Seashore car 303 to dispatch.
303 in the loop, Southwood.
303, visitor centre. Hello, Dada. 303, visitor centre, Southwood.
Dispatch 623. Talbot, large green paddle,
You can exit the car this side, please.
Okay, we're ready. We gotta sit on the bench though for you. You gotta sit on the bench.
They don't go round. Yeah. That's quick. That'll be up and back before you blink. But that's yeah. After driving these, operating that is heaven. You can sit down and it's absolute perfect comfort. You're not rocking around.
Wondering what the rotation was because we rode that yellow close one, so we wanted to ride that one. Is that super
Mike?
good?
Mike, do you want me to pull up or here it's good?
Well, hang on a minute, Gail. Let me nail this one. Got a bunch of folks who want to ride. We haven't got too much time. Is there any way to move that out? And
Well, we don't mind waiting
when
too.
that,
We were just going to look around. Yeah, we were going to look at the museum and everything. racing. We just wanted to make sure we didn't miss it.
Oh, okay.
So the thing is, we don't mind waiting. We don't mind waiting
we're
for the
gonna-
next one.
okay, I thought we were-
We're still walking around and enjoying the
Where are
show.
we? So
So that was
that
gonna
one
go
will be the 105.
and then it's gonna be 150.
150.
Okay, so 150. I'll be on the 150.
Well, if you're gonna, right, now, if you're out there, you can't see it from here. That little station.
All right, this will be on YouTube probably by Tuesday.
Okay, sorry.
I'll send you the.
No, we're still looking. We're still
Okay, okay.
We just wanted to make sure we wouldn't miss it.
Right.
I know, so excited. So
Thanks for filming that.
No, it should be. We'll see what comes out.